Jose Rizal and Philippine Nationalism, The Life and Works of Rizal, as presented by Group 6. A person who shows great courage and a person admired for achievements and noble qualities is called a hero. And heroism is the heroic conduct, especially as exhibited in fulfilling a high purpose or attaining a noble end. That is heroism. Now, what is a national hero? We all know that a national hero is someone who will do anything for their country, someone who will sacrifice themselves in order to protect the people of their nation. And as we all know, the greatest Philippine national hero is Dr. Jose Rizal. We know of his works, we are talking about it now, and we will be discussing his history. We all know that heroes are all courageous, someone who will sacrifice themselves, and someone who will commit to their death. And all national heroes and all heroes in general have these general qualities that they will put others before themselves, that they will think of others before they could even think about themselves. Now, what sets Jose Rizal apart from every other national hero that we have is about his works. He is not a warrior, he is not even tall, and he is not even that strong. He's just an ordinary man with an educated mind. And he wanted to share his education for everyone at his time. And that is his way of revolution. He has a deep love for his own country, and he has a high level of morality. So that is the general definition of a hero and what is a hero in the Philippine context. And what is heroism in the Philippines? If you may notice, heroism in the Philippines is massively different from heroism in other countries, like let's say America. Heroism in America can be considered as an act that you do by yourself, something that you will do and you will be recognized by yourself. But in the Philippines, heroism is something done through a revolution. Heroism is an act that you do not do alone, but it is an individual responsibility or an individual choice in order to be heroic, in order to protect your own country. And that is what Jose Rizal exactly did. His works has caused a massive spark of concern and a massive spark of nationalism within the Philippines at his time. And he made us realize that we can be treated better than our conditions at that time. Revolution is not only reserved for warriors. It is not only reserved for soldiers. It is not only reserved for generals. Revolution is something ordinary people can do. It is something ordinary people can act for themselves in order to protect their personal and human rights. That is what he proved, and that is what sets him apart. He proved that you, as an ordinary person, can fight for your rights.
Good morning everyone. Today, pag-uusapan natin yung mga different views and opinions of Filipino historians about Jose Rizal as a hero. Tinawag ni Leon Maria Guerrero si Rizal bilang isang first Filipino dahil siya ang nagmula sa mga Pilipino na iisang bansa tayo kahit iba-iba ang ating wika at kultura. And kahit hindi siya lumaban gamit ang mga armas, ang nolimitangere at el filibusterismo ang nagbukas ng mata sa mga tao sa pang-aabuso ng mga Espanyol at naging inspirasyon ng katipunan. And para rin kay Guerrero, reluctant revolutionary si Rizal. Ibig sabihin ayaw niya ng padalos-dalos na armadong paglaban dahil naniniwala siyang hindi pa handa ang bansa pero ang tunay na kalayaan pa rin ang kanyang ultimate goal. Next is Teodoro A. Agoncillo. Ayon kay Agoncillo, reformist si Rizal at hindi siya ang nanguna sa revolusyon. Pero nang siya ay bitayon, naging martir at simbolo ng paglaban. Kaya mas maraming Pilipino ang na-inspire na sumali sa magsikal noong 1896. And para sa kanya, hindi dapat pagpilian sina Rizal at Bonifacio. Pareho silang mahalaga sa bayani ng Pilipinas dahil magkaiba ang paraan ng kanilang kontribusyon sa pagkamit ng kalayaan ng bansa. Ang susunod naman ay si Renato Constantino. Isa siya sa mga pinakakilalang kritiko ni Rizal. Para sa kanya, gusto lang ni Rizal ng assimilation o pantay na karapatan sa ilalim ng pamahalaang Espanyol. At hindi pa ganap na kalayaan noong una. Tutol din siya sa armadong revolusyon ng Katipunan. Naniniwala rin si Constantino na mas itinaguyod ang mga Amerikano si Rizal bilang pambansang bayani dahil mapayapa ang kanyang paraan ng pakikibaka at mas ligtas itong gawing simbolo ng bansa kaysa sa mga revolusyonaryong tulad ni Bonifacio at Aguinaldo. Dagdag pa niya, hindi raw dapat i-idolize si Rizal ng walang pagtingin sa kanyang mga limitasyon tulad ng kanyang elite background at pananaw na maaring hindi laging sumasalamin sa karanasan ng karaniwang mamamayan. Our second to the last historian is Ambet R. Ocampo. Sinabi ni Ocampo na hindi dapat i-worship si Rizal na parang santo, pero hindi rin dapat maliitin ang kanyang ambag dahil ipinakita niya ang kanyang galing sa pagsusulat na makamit ang kalayaan ng walang dahas. So ipinakita niya na nagbago ang pananaw ni Rizal habang tumatagal. Nagsimula siya bilang reformist pero kalaunan ay tinanggap na maaring kailanganin ang independence kung hindi talaga magbabago ang Spanyol or yung Spain. Binibigyan din niya na ang mga Pilipino mismo ang unang kumilala kay Rizal bilang bayani dahil pinangalan niya na siya ni Aguinaldo noong 1898 bago pa ito opisyal na ikinalala ng mga Amerikano. And ang pagiging bayani ay hindi lang nasusukat sa pakikipaglaban sa digmaan, kundi pati sa mga ideya, impluwensya at sakripisyong iniwan para sa bayan. And lastly, ayon naman kay John N. Schumacher, hindi si Rizal ang nagsimula ng revolusyon, pero ang kanyang mga ideya ang naging intellectual at moral foundation nito. So, meaning, maraming historian ang naka-views kay Rizal as yung intellectual and yung moral foundation niya para makamit yung kalayaan, hindi yung pagiging dahas. So, maraming historian ang nakikita siya as an intellectual and moral foundation. And sinabi pa dito na ang pagtutol ni Rizal sa karahasan ay hindi dahil kulang siya sa pagmamahal sa bayan, kundi dahil natatakot siyang mauwi sa kaguluhan ang isang revolusyong hindi pa handa ang mga Pilipino. So noon pa man, meron ng pagmamahal sa atin si Dr. Jose Rizal since ayaw niya nga ng dahas at alam niya na hindi pa handa ang mga Pilipino lumaban. So sa madaling salita, hindi siya laban sa kalayaan. Gusto lang niyang maging handa at organisado ang bansa bago ito ipaglaban.
Ang kabataan, ang pag-asa ng bayan. It is a famous quote of Dr. Jose Rizal. Pero, is the youth really the hope of society? A lot of youths nowadays don't know or rather do not remember the history of the Philippines. Let's test the knowledge of second-year college students through playing Put Down Your Finger. If you do not know the answer, please put down your finger, and at the end of our game, fellow blockmates, I want you to comment down how many of your fingers are still up. Of course, the national flag is called the Philippine flag. It consists of 3 colors, white, blue, and red. 3 stars representing the 3 island regions, and the sun with 8 rays symbolizing the 8 provinces who first fought back against the Spaniards. The national anthem is Lupang Hinirang, or Chosen Land in English. It was written by Julian Felipe in 1898 which is adapted from the poem Pilipinas by Jose Palma. Sampaguita is the declared national flower of the Philippines, and Nara is the declared national tree. Both were proclaimed as national symbols on February 1, 1934, through Proclamation number 652 by Governor-General Frank Murphy. While they were not officially declared by the Spanish government, both symbols were already deeply culturally significant to Filipinos long before the 1934 proclamation. Carabao are known as national animal of the Philippines. Culturally speaking, yes, but it was never officially declared. Some are saying that it was declared by former President Ramon Magsaysay. However, it is not true. The then president only passed laws to protect the carabaos. On the other hand, the Philippine eagle was declared as the national bird of the Philippines by former President Fidel Ramos in 1995. It symbolizes strength, ecological balance, and Filipino pride. The Philippine pearl is often referred to as the South Sea Pearl. Its designation as the national gem honors the country's rich marine resources and its historical identity as a significant source of high-quality pearls in the world. The national sports is arnis. It is also known as eskrima or kali. Arnis is an indigenous Filipino martial art that uses sticks, bladed weapons, and empty hand techniques. Bahay Kubo is the national house, symbolizing the Filipino architectural heritage, ingenuity, and community spirit, are also known as bayanihan. The national fruit is mango, anahaw is the national leaf, and bangus is the national fish. Dr. Jose Rizal is the national hero, de facto national hero. As there are no official proclamations, his status is the result of popular acclaim, historical consensus, and public veneration rather than a government decree. Carabao, Bahay Kubo, Mango, Anahaw, Bangus, and Dr. Jose Rizal are not officially declared as national symbols. For decades, school textbooks have listed symbols like the Carabao or the Mango as national symbols. Once these concepts are introduced in education, they become truth to generations of students. In the end, these symbols, whether official or traditional, serve as a compass of our national identity. Together, they weave a singular narrative across the archipelago, bridging our islands and bridging our differences.
Good day, everyone. So today we will talk about the national hero, which is the Executive Order number 75, issued by Fidel V. Ramos in 1993. The criteria for national heroes were formulated by the Technical Committee of the National Hero, adopted by the following 10 criteria. So today, pag-uusapan natin kung bakit tinawag na national hero or hero yung mga bayani natin sa Pilipinas. Meron tayo ditong 10 criteria para malaman natin kung bakit sila itinawag na national hero. First is sacrifice for the country. Ibig sabihin, sakripisyo para sa bayan. So bakit nga ba sacrifice for country? Ibig sabihin, kaya niya mag-alay ng malaking sakripisyo para sa kapakanan at sa ikakaunlad ng ating bansa. Next is motive and methods or layunin at paraan. Ibig sabihin, kanyang layunin ay para sa ikakabuti ng bansa at para makamit sa pamamagitan ng makatarungan at marangal na paraan. Third is moral character or mabuting pagkatao. Ito ang dapat na maging bayani ay may mataas na pagpapahalaga sa moralidad, integridad, at higit sa lahat ay may mabuting asal. Number 4, influence on generation. or ibig sabihin, impluensya sa mga henerasyon. Ang bayani ay dapat maging inspirasyon at may positibong impluensya at sa mga susunod pang generation katulad natin. Number 5. Concept of nationhood or pagmamahal sa bayan. Dapat ay may malinaw na pananaw tungkol sa bansa at kikibaka para sa kalayaan ng ating bayan. Number 6. Freedom and order or pagtataguyod ng kalayaan at kaayusan. Ibig sabihin, tumutulong sa pagbuo ng isang lipunang may kalayaan, kaayusan, at may katarungan. Number 7 to our list is contribution to the nation. Or ibig sabihin, ambag sa kinabukasan ng bansa. Ito dapat ay may mahalagang contribution sa pagbubuti ng kalidad ng buhay at kapalaran ng ating bansa. Number 8. Recognition by the people or pagkilala ng mamamayan. Ang bayani ay dapat kinikilala at pinaparangalan ng mga tao dahil sa kanyang mga nagawa para sa bayan. Number 9 on our list is vision for future generations or pagpapahalaga sa mga susunod na henerasyon. Hindi lamang iniisip ang mga kasalukuyang nagaganap, kundi pati na rin ang kapakanan ng mga susunod na pangyayari sa ating bansa. And lastly, historical significance or kahalagahang pangkasaysayan. Ang pagiging bayani ay hindi lamang nakabatay sa mga pangyayari sa kasaysayan kundi sa lahat ng proseso at epekto ng kanyang mga ginawa para sa bayan. And to conclude, para sa ating discussion, ang mga kriteryang ito ay nagsisibing gabay sa pagkilala sa mga taong nagpakita ng pagmamahal, sacrifices, at paglilingkod para sa bayan. Pinapakita rin dito na ang pagiging bayani ay hindi lamang nasukat sa nagawa nila noon, kundi pati na rin sa influence at inspiration na naiwan ngayon at sa mga susunod pang generations. Yun lamang po, and thank you so much.